All right, welcome back. Episode 92, I think, of the Scarlet and Blue Show. We have a fun one here tonight.
We do. I'm very excited.
The sideline, forget about it. This baby's over. Oh my goodness! One man. Goodbye. Hello, Heisman.
And most especially in 310 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan, on the football field.
Another block. Touchdown. No flag. Samuel cuts it back. Ohio State wins. Here's the run again. Donovan Edwards. Whoa! Can they catch him? No! Donovan Edwards again. The down.
All right, as we mentioned, we've got a fun one here tonight. Buckeyes got a bye week.
Yep.
There's still things to talk about, especially you guys whining and complaining to NCAA. So you got your way again there. So well done.
You have
And
proof of
then
that?
we also
You have proof of that?
Again, what did I say last week? One time's a outlier, two times is coincidence, third time.
Yeah.
That's a trend.
Okay.
So then, probably other news there as well. And we got Michigan, Illinois, and then we got some fun guests. Garrison got on some buddies from the Nebraska and Indiana spaces, which is going to be a fun because that's going to be an awesome matchup this weekend.
Definitely.
So, Stock to Bar is where we're going to start, though, because that is delicious vodka, smooth vodka with a purpose. There we are. Smooth taste with a purpose. They donate a portion of every bottle sold to the Boys and Girls Club, folks. So definitely go check it out. It's for a good cause. Get yours at stocktobar.com, stockdabar.com. And also, too, I want to shout out our man, Dylan.
Our lives are a collection of experiences, moments of happiness or times of great loss. First homes, new babies, property loss, even heartache. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Boom. We appreciate Dylan's support. Go support him for all your insurance needs. Want to make sure we get that out of the way. You see his number is right at the top of the screen. So you'll be able to see that there. All right, man. So as we wait for some of our guests to join us here, we'll get started. Michigan, Illinois. Did you have anything to talk about with the Buckeyes?
No. Well, I want to jump in and talk about you guys. We're on a bye week, a much-needed bye week. Anything I had to say, I have nothing else to say. I've said everything I had to say.
Okay.
Yeah. I have nothing else. Like, what is there else to say? So, I mean,
I don't know.
I tell you, I'm in good spirits, so I'm fine.
I'm fine. Everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine. Trust me, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
all right. That's fine. All right, so we got Illinois. And did you see their jerseys that they're wearing?
I did not. What are they wearing?
They've got some sick throwbacks here. I'll see if I can pull them up while we talk. But, yeah, no, it's going to be I'm excited for it, man. I haven't even looked at the lines yet. It's only Wednesday. I normally do the show on Thursday. But have you seen the line for this game yet?
It's -1 in your favor, is it not?
Yeah, we came out as favorites. I just wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
It opened up. Here's his open up at -2 for Illinois, but it's since moved to -3.5 for the Wolverines.
Heyo.
So here's the thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got this the bye week. I saw Inside Michigan Football that they release every Sunday, and I got excited again. I think Jack was always the guy. It was the reason we didn't go and get anybody else in the portal, which that's the narrative you guys spin. Who would we have gotten from the portal? Nobody. There's no one to get from the portal. So
this year, no. I mean, you did, but no one worth talking about.
Right.
Except for Preby.
Yeah, well, that's for a quarterback. I'm talking about specifically for quarterback.
Oh, no.
So I think Jack Tuttle was always going to be the guy. Now he had that week of practice before.
It's crazy how you guys have switched that up. Oh, he was supposed to be the guy. Oh, he was supposed to be the guy. Oh, he's
Have
going
I
to do
not said
well.
that? I speculated early on. I said I thought that
You
Tuttle
did.
was supposed to be the guy, and then he went down.
You get
And so
that.
now
You
we got
did.
a bye week. We're gonna have the full week of prep starting Wednesday, so full half a week of prep for Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited, and so I want to see who we get back. They don't, of course, release those updates until before the game. But the game going to Washington, we had a lot of guys out. So hopefully everybody's back. The interesting story, though, this week is the right tackle position. Have you heard?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Go ahead.
Jeff Percy is giving Evan Link a run for his money at the tackle position, which is interesting to say the least. I think your point, while I never ever want to give you credit, I thought that was a fair one. And that if Percy wasn't pushing this early on in the season, how bad is he? And if he's pushing him now, is it because it's gotten so bad and the tape's just out there? Because Evan Link has gotten better in the run blocking game, but my goodness, the poor lad can't pass block.
No.
And that has been frustrating. So we'll see what else. We're gonna get some guys back. Seems like Derek Moore should be back.
Mm-hmm.
It seems
that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, especially against this team.
Yes, because I watched the Penn State game today. They were down by 7, going 3 minutes to go in the fourth.
Dude, a lot of Penn State fans try to make it seem like that game wasn't close. No, you were in a dogfight till the end of the game.
I think 3:42 is when around that time where they went up. No, I think they were down 7 at that point, and then I think at 3:42 they give them the ball back or something like that. So, yeah, deep into the fourth. That game's at night. That game was in Happy Valley during I think it was the whiteout, designated whiteout.
It was.
Yep. So it's just, I think that's a good football team, and obviously quite. I mean, I don't think it's a shoe-in victory. I think 3.5 is a lot of points. I'm not going to take 3.5. That's that extra hook. That extra hook is interesting. I think people are also looking at this near loss to Purdue, and that's recency bias. But I got to look at the box score here. But I think they were up big at one point, weren't they?
Yeah, that Illinois Purdue game, dude. That's an outlier for me.
Oh, they were up 24-3 at halftime.
Yeah, and then I think Purdue switched quarterbacks, and they didn't have any film on them, man. And does that mean you should give up 49 to Purdue? No,
no, but still, you're right.
That game was an outlier for me. It didn't. That's the type of game, Bryce. You take the tape, and you throw it away.
Yes. Yep, I agree. So you got to get to Altmaier, and I think the defense is still the Bielema defense. So I'm excited. I don't like bye weeks because they're just that you don't get to see your team play, and that's how much fun we have with this. So I'm excited that they're. And then we got Sparty next week.
I can't wait on Peacock.
Is that one? No, it's not. Don't tell me that.
It's not on national television. I'm pretty sure of it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
No way.
And it's at night.
Yeah, night game, which that went really well last time.
By the way, just a few things. I wrote down some numbers for you. So I actually, from one of our guests started coming on, Justin, I actually got this from him when we were on a Big Ten team rivalry with Cliff and Mac. And a lot of people don't think Illinois' rush game is that good. They run when need be. Every single one of their 4 running backs they play a lot of, and that's 23 carries and up, they're all over 4.4 yards per carry. And I mean, and you would have to believe that a guy like Brett Bielema, even though his offense has migrated to more of a pass game, he knows how to scheme up a run game. I think that's why they've still been they've still been successful on the ground.
Yeah, just for the sake of this.
Yeah. Their team run grade is a 79.9. That, like, just to show you how good their run game actually is on offense. Now, I'm really interested to see how you guys are going to cover Pat Bryant. If I were you guys, him being the clear number one wide receiver, I would have Will Johnson follow him. I think you guys can trust your corners against their other wide receivers, but I would specifically make sure he's on him at all times. I'm really interested to see how they hold up against your pass rush, because they're clearly going to pass the ball a lot. And their pass block grade on PFF, grain of salt, but it's a 64. It's a 64.4, and I have it here. Your guys' pass rush is a 90.6. So that could be unfortunate for Illinois.
Yeah, I agree. That will be the key, though.
Yeah. Now
that's why Derek Moore coming back is big.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you know what team has the worst pass efficiency in the college football right now?
Yeah, I don't want to answer.
Okay. Now, I do think that plays into Illinois' favor. Their defense is not bad. It's not elite. It's just it's good. You know, it's good. I believe Illinois is a better football team. I just do. I think they're better at quarterback. I think they're practically better at every single position except for probably a running back and tight end. On offense, defense, I think as a collective, they're probably just as good, if not better than you guys as a collective. Not like, of course, you guys have more talent. You guys have more depth. I think they have the coaching advantage. Bryce, you know those games when you can find every reason to pick the other team, but you don't? I think Michigan's going to win this game.
Okay. That went a different direction. All right.
That's why when you said that
makes me feel oddly good.
When you said you don't know about that line, that's why I started laughing, because I said he has, unless you watched Big Team Rival, you have no idea that I'm about to pick Michigan. You have no idea.
Woo! We got to be some animation that I can do. That's like.
And I told Mac and Cliff, and I told the rest of the guys, I don't know why. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why I think Michigan's gonna win. Couldn't tell you, but I think they're going to.
Wow, Garrison Dean. Oh, that's not gonna do it.
There's just some games you can't explain. Oh, good grief! Whoa, like, what are you, your son? But yeah, man. So like, would I bet on this game? No. But do I think Michigan's gonna win? Yeah, I do.
You think they'd cover? You're saying they're gonna cover, or you think they're gonna win?
I think they're gonna win. I don't think there's enough tape on Jack Tuttle. Now, like, yeah, you can go on the, like, even from past games at Indiana. I don't think there's enough tape. Especially that clearly he'd be a different football player than he was 3 years ago, 12 years ago than he was. But I think it's going to be a situation like the USC game where I believe the other team is actually better, but they don't have tape on the other person. They don't know what to prep for. Well, USC should know what to prep for, because Sharon Moore stupidly told them on a Monday. But yeah, I think I gave a score of like 20-17, 23-17, something like that. But yeah, and so I'm also picking the under. I'll tell you that much. But I think 42.5, 43.5, something like that. But yeah.
Okay. Respect that. Here, by the way. You see these?
That's butt ugly.
Stop. Those are cool.
I can dude, those look like they're made by Adidas.
Oh, what? Whoa. We'll take a lot on this show, but I will not take Adidas slander.
Like, no, you know I love Adidas. I think they make better cleats than Nike. But I don't know. Okay.
There's something about
scroll back. To see the helmet. The helmet's dope. The helmet is dope.
That's awesome.
I like the helmet. It's yeah. Nice leather helmet.
All right. Well, good. No, I mean, yeah, we can get to our guests here, because I know we got a few of them sitting here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got one.
Yeah, we're bringing one on at a time. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
We've never done 3. Oh, it throws off the screen. Justin, What's going on, man?
How we doing? Appreciate y'all having me on, man. Excited.
We're happy to have you on. We're happy.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I love getting out and get on these other shows and just kind of, talking with y'all. Garrison, we have a ton of fun on the Big Ten Team Rivalry show. So I had to do it. So no, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah. Justin's the Nebraska voice of the voice of college football. Yeah. Hosted the Big Ten show on YouTube. So go check him out there for sure. You should add your handle.
Is my volume good, by the way?
Yeah, with your $9,000 mic. Yeah,
it's not $9,000, but it all adds up pretty quick. That's for sure.
By the way, I'm sorry,
go ahead,
but just real quick, I said we shouldn't tell you this, but I'll let you know. Now it's kind of cheating because you only picked one time on a Big Ten team rivalry show, but you do have a perfect score right now on your picks of 100%. Now technically, you don't count because you only had 6 picks, but you are 100%.
On the Big Ten team rivalry?
Yeah, remember he had 100%. That was him.
I was at 22-4.
No, not you. That's what Bryce was.
Oh, Bryce, got you. Yeah, he was at 6-0. That's right.
Wait, I was?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. That's why I'm not going to go back on.
Stop the count.
Stop the count. That's right.
Well, yeah, man. So you guys are front and center. Yeah, you guys are front and center this week in the Big Ten. Been a while for you guys since you've been that. On the show last month, on this Monday, you gave a lot of information, a lot of great numbers, a lot of insight on the Nebraska team. What are you excited about this weekend, just in terms of the game against Indiana?
I think it's just the stylistic matchup and the, not knowing what to expect at all. Indiana is a team that, really is coming into their own this year under Kirk Cignetti, first year, 80 transfer players that they have on that roster. And then you have Nebraska kind of in their first good season of their quote unquote rebuild. And, it seems like both teams have had somewhat of a favorable schedule up until this point. So it's going to be nice. Nebraska's faced a lot of physical teams. They faced a Colorado team that I don't think is near as good as this Indiana team. So we got a taste of kind of a faster paced offense, but they have no run game. Indiana's got a sneaky good run game, a pretty good run game, actually. So it's just one of those styles make fights type of deals. And I'm just really curious to see the physical nature of Nebraska's defense versus the, chunk yardage offense of Indiana. And Curtis Rourke, he's going to be getting pressure on him. I think he's only been pressured 5 times out of 170 dropbacks or something like that.
I wish I could say the same at Ohio State.
Yeah, and then like Sanders, he was the thing is the pass rush is getting better as the weeks go on. Sanders was pressured on 35.6% of his dropbacks, Hudson Card on 42.8%, and then Callie McManus on 54% of his dropbacks. So the pressure has been getting home, and it's going to be much needed against them because we got to lay some hits and get pretty physical with Rourke to try to make him think a little bit harder.
So this isn't Rilo's first big game.
Yeah.
No, he had the Illinois game. Wasn't his best game, but I don't think he was bad at all. I was a little sad because I thought he would come out of there with like 300 passing yards.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be the coming out party. And this could be another chance for him. How do you think you guys are going to run your offense against Indiana?
Well, I can tell you it needs to run a lot different than we've been running it, especially last week against Rutgers. I had done that video where I went through every single play of the Rutgers game offensively, and I broke down each and every single play by down and distance and what type of play. Was it a, were all the routes deep? Were we throwing lateral? Was it a jet sweep? And anything we're doing, because our perimeter blocking is bad, anything we're doing to the outside, it's just not working. And that's stunting our drives. And then also there's a little bit too much of a desire to keep the deep pass game going. We're not doing enough check downs, getting into a rhythm, getting Ryle into a rhythm. That was the problem against Rutgers in the second half is all of our drives stalled because we were, we would, on our touchdown drives, they were both 7 plays, about 75 yards, one of them 75, one of them 72. And on each one of those, there was not a single lateral play. It was literally a couple of runs. It was a good balance between runs and passes. And those drives scored touchdowns, and they were efficient on those drives. And then we started doing everything back to laterally and you know, a couple pre-snap penalties. And it's just a matter of like, we don't always have to go for the sticks, you know, throw, you know, to your playmakers in space, let them get open. And also, you know, one of the things that we need to do is Indiana has run, I think they said 160 snaps of zone and 20 snaps of man. But Dylan Raiola, it throws about a 94.4% grade against zone, but about 44% against man.
Good, he's the
So
greatest.
that could play into Nebraska's like, you know, favor there, but I'd be curious to see how Indiana schemes up that defense for sure.
Bryce, do you have any questions?
The unbelievable stats and analysis there. Good night. Yeah, so just tell me about the Raiola hype train right now with the tough game against Illinois. Not even tough game, but just missed the touchdown. I feel like he gets a lot of flack for that. And what's the hype train like with 15 right now?
Honestly, man, you know, there's detractors, and I think a lot of this is the nature of our fan base. You know, we would have said happy. We would have been happy coming into the season if we would have said we were 5-1 at this point, you know, and everything was going like it was. When Dylan Raiola came in, you know, we knew we didn't need him to be a world beater year one. He just needs to come in and effectively manage the game. Now, I think Satterfield can make life easier on him for sure, because he has been a part of what keeps this offense going, no doubt, by making plays, creating plays. But I think, you know, coming into the season, people thought that he was, you know, going to have to come in, throw for 300 a game, throw for 3 touchdowns a game. And he just hasn't had to do that. And he's comfortable not playing for stats. He's comfortable managing the game, playing with the lead. But in the Rutgers game, it looked like he was a little bit tentative and afraid of maybe making a mistake. Rutgers put some hits on him, and it looked like he was just a second late on some of these timing routes. And that really kind of – so I think in this game, he's going to really need to get into a rhythm early. Nebraska's offensive line is going to have to do a good job, although Indiana's defensive line, you know, they're not the best, that's for sure. But our offensive line still has to perform and keep him upright, keep him in a clean pocket. And I think that's our route to success because, you know, like I said, Rutgers, they put some pressure on him in that second half. They started pinning their ears back, got some pressure on him in the second half, and that had him thinking a lot. He made his first freshman mistake there. The linebacker kind of took a couple steps forward on the play fake, on the play action. It was a play action RPO slant that they were throwing to the right side. He came down a couple steps, and then, you know, Raiola tried to throw that quick slant, and then he stepped back and picked it off. That was his first true freshman mistake. But you know, he didn't make any mistakes after that, but it seemed like he was a little late, which means he was probably thinking. And if you're thinking, you're going to be late on everything. So, but the bye week, you know, he's one of those guys who's not rattled. So the bye week, you know, came at a great time. I think they'll, you know, kind of look everything over and kind of come up with a game plan that, you know, gets him going because they know we're going to have to score a lot of points this week.
So then, all right, I guess the other thing too I would bring up is that we should have you on next week, honestly, because next week you got the Buckeyes.
Yep.
So going into the season, I imagine you're looking at the schedule and saying, all right, Indiana before the one with Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out Indiana's going to be 6-0, ranked 16th in the country.
Yeah.
Look ahead spot. I know it's tough with where Indiana is now, but any concerns there? Against
Indiana?
Well, any concerns with the game against Indiana this week with Ohio State next week?
Oh, so my thing is this is the get right game before Ohio State. And so what I need to see from Indiana is the opposite of what we saw against Rutgers offensively, because I said after the Illinois game, what Illinois did really well was they kept Nebraska on their heels with their play sequencing. You know, they used the H-back in a lot of different ways, and they snuck the H-back out for a touchdown. The little play that they ran to get him open in the back of the end zone, they ran that same play 2 plays prior, but they had a different person running the underneath route. It was just a high-low look. And so one of the things that I kind of think I need to see is just the play calling, because this entire season I've said Nebraska's offense doesn't have much of an identity. And while the individual play calling is necessarily not the problem, it's the play sequencing and it's the game plan. And we don't seem to have an identity. And so coming off this bye week and into this tough back half stretch of the schedule, because we have Indiana, Ohio State, USC, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Most of those are on the road. We have UCLA too, but I'm not going to count them. But watch us lose now. No, but I need to see something special from this team going to that Ohio State game for me to have a lot of confidence in that. And that's on the offensive side of the ball. So I think this is a good opportunity for Nebraska to get some momentum and get into a rhythm. But yeah, it's a tough back half stretch, and I'm going to have to see a big jump in the offensive efficiency from Rutgers to feel good. Or even, I'm not going to feel good regardless going into that game, but to feel better about that game.
For sure. And that game against Ohio State is a noon game in Columbus. So
in Columbus, yeah.
But that's next week, or no, that's next week after this. And so you got the Hoosiers, which Garrison asked the question last episode or maybe 2 episodes ago. It's would you take this Hoosier head coach? And I think what he's done has been so impressive. Plus this quote that came out this week about saying, like, just Google me, I win everywhere. And then you look at his
he does. One place I think he's most of his seasons are over 9 wins. I don't think he's had a losing season in his career. But one thing I question, and is Indiana against Northwestern. Northwestern again went blow for blow with them, right? And then kind of faded late in the game. Maryland, Maryland had a lot of success against them. One thing I question is Indiana's physicality. They do have a bunch of JMU transfers, and Nebraska's defense is playing at an unbelievable level. How do they deal with that physicality and it wearing on them, and will it wear them down? Will their offense lose some of its explosiveness if we start to kind of wear down that line? And Tony White, like the 3-3-5 is replacing a defensive lineman with a defensive back. And one of the things that we saw last week against Rutgers that was a transition that we could have done against Illinois that would have helped us beat Illinois, but it came from that Illinois film, was we had 4 down linemen on occasion. So they're doing a lot of different stuff to mix up even the 3 down front with the 3 down linemen and the 3 linebackers. We had 4 hands in the dirt instead of the 3. So the defense is improving each and every week, and it got better as the Rutgers game went along. So I think it's really going to be I question the physicality, and Nebraska's building a defensive brand of physical football. We've given up 0 rushing touchdowns this season, the only team in FBS. Held Kyle Monungite to 72 yards rushing. And 20 of Indiana's 39 touchdowns have come on the ground. So I think if we can turn them kind of one-dimensional, then Illinois, like I said, what they did was keep us on our heels. But if we can turn them one-dimensional and we're not on our heels, pin our ears back, I think this game takes on a whole new trajectory. But the big key is going to be trying to get out to that early lead. And really just try to impose our game plan, not playing from behind, and try to adjust as the game goes along. If we can stick to what we come in our game plan, that should lend well. But like I said, they're going to be tough offensively. And I questioned it the other day. I thought about this like last week. Maryland was 5-0 last year with a top 10 offense. And I know it's 2 completely different teams. Of course, Signetti's a better coach, all that stuff. But it raises the question, is a little overhyped, because we look at the thing, Indiana coming to the season, right? This is another thing I thought about. Indiana coming to the season wasn't supposed to be this, right? So I think we grade them based off that level. Oh, they're playing up here. So it's like we don't really point out their flaws. We're like, oh, this is a great story. Indiana, crazy offense. But then you have schools like, Nebraska, who haven't been good, but have a lot of detractors, and our fan base is very nitpicky about. And it's kind of like, the expectations for us were high this year. And so we're being a little bit more nitpicky about what we're seeing. And I think that has an element to it as well. I just, I think the 3.5 point spread was pretty fair, but what it's been up to now is kind of wild. But yeah, so I'm interested to see that physicality and how it holds up for sure.
Ooh, it's up to 6.5.
Good grief.
Yeah, 6.5.
Indiana 6.5.
Yeah, it opened at 3.5. It's been bet up to 6.5. That's crazy.
That means people probably put a lot of money on Indiana.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, man, Justin, we thank you for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm really excited about this game, so that's why I told Bryce, hey, I want to have some Indiana Nebraska people on the show. I don't know why I'm excited for this game, but I think it's really cool that these two programs are in the spotlight. And dude, we appreciate you for coming on, and can you let everyone else know where we can find you or they can find you.
And thank y'all again for having me on. Like I said, anytime you want me on, I'm perfectly down to jump on. But you can find me over at Nebraska Football at the Voice of College Football. You can find me over at the Big Ten Show, and you can find me on X at _H-Town Husker. If you just want to stay up to date on all that stuff, just give me a follow, give me a sub, and hopefully enjoy the content. And also drop a like on this video. Subscribe here if you haven't already. Drop a comment. Leave your thoughts.
My guy.
Out for y'all too.
One last question for you, Justin. So I like the Bus with the Boys guys largely because one of them is Taylor Lewan, but the other one is an absolute character who I really like, Will Compton. Is he? What's his kind of reputation over there? I feel like he's been a major part of the program now. Yeah,
Will Compton was one of those guys that when his playing career was here, like it wasn't necessarily the best. Like he was a good, decent player. But he's really grown on people with his personality after the fact. And so, he's kind of, we've kind of forgotten some of the errors of the ways, in his playing days, but, he makes up for it with his like charisma and personality and his support for the program. He's doing all of the hype videos for Nebraska before they walk out of the tunnel walk. Like he's doing all of those. So that's a pretty fun thing that he does. But so love Will Compton, and I love both those guys, man. They're funny. They're awesome guys. So
they're fun. And by the way,
one of them was pretty cool.
What's that?
One of them was pretty cool. That being Will.
Oh,
and last question for you: did Colt McCoy, did that pass come down in time, or the clock now stopped?
Listen. Clock hit zero. All right. I was watching that. I was in A school. I was in the military, and I was in my A school, which was our training after boot camp. And I was watching that in a bar.
Bryce doesn't know what that is.
I was
watching
that. Appreciate it. I was watching at a bar in San Antonio, surrounded by Texas fans. Sorry. And I was talking so much trash, and that clock hit zero, and I was running around that place, celebrate. And when they put 1 second back on that clock, I left. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
One day I got to tell you about my was when I was stationed out in San Diego, and I found out my favorite bar was a Michigan State bar. That just happened. I went there, and just so happened to be the game where Urban Meyer thought it was a good idea not to give the ball to Zeke and lose the game. It was the worst.
Oh, great. Yeah. That always works out. Yeah. It always happens that way, where it's the worst place for you to be at the time of the mistake. And Garrison saw my picture earlier from when I infiltrated the UT student section when I was 15.
You just see a guy
like,
with
where's Waldo?
Some face paint.
Skinny old kid with face paint. I sold programs for the Texas game outside. My sister was a student there, so I sold programs face painted on my Husker gear before the game to get a ticket in the student section, and I was just
crazy.
Posted up there.
Let's go. All right, well, Justin, we appreciate it, man. Hopefully, we'll have you on next week.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all again.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
All right, later.
All right, so definitely go follow Justin. We'll link his stuff in the bio here. Appreciate him going on. Oh, I want to scream out "Go Big Red," but that's all right. Hopefully, you can hear me. All right, welcome on, Matt Lukens.
Yo,
what's going on?
How you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I just woke up. It's 8 a.m. in the morning for me. So
yeah, Bryce, I don't know if you know where he is.
Where the heck are you?
Oh yeah, I live in China, so yeah, I'm calling in from China. So
look at that, we are an international program. Let's go.
No, Matt,
You
I've
guys
only
are
been to
now.
Hong Kong. I've only been to Hong Kong, man. But I always want to go to inland China. I've heard it's pretty fun there.
It is a great old time. I will let you know. Very fun. Everybody here is super welcoming, super nice. I've had a wonderful time for I'm here for what, like 8 months now? Yeah, it's been a good time. And in the 8 months since I've been here, Indiana's turned into a good football team. So I'm just staying permanently. So since I've been
Matt,
here, we're 6-0.
That's awesome. So Matt's the contributor and podcast for Indiana HQ, big coast to coast, and the Hoosier Sound. So man is busy with all things Hoosier. First question I have for you, Matt, is why do you have a picture of Tom Crean at the Michigan game?
Because I thought that was the funniest face Tom Crean has made in the last year and a half, and I needed to make that my profile picture because Tom Crean got fired at Indiana because he kind of sucked towards the end of his tenure as head basketball coach there. But he didn't get fired because people didn't like him, because we all used to call him Dad in the student section, because he just gives off big dad energy. So still a lot of IU Tom Crean fans. So I thought it was funny.
That's good.
Matt, are you from Indiana?
I am actually not. I grew up in the state of Florida as a big Urban Meyer Gators fan. And then I went to university at IU for my undergrad. So.
All right, nice. All right, man. Well, here's my first question for you. So,
yep.
First off, I think it's really cool that you guys are in this situation where you guys are part of a big game in the Big Ten. I love watching you guys play. I could have cared less who you guys played. It was just fun to watch you. I remember just not that long ago, I would tell fans of other fan bases in different conferences, like, you guys talk crap about Indiana, but I promise if you came to our conference, you would find out that they might not stop you, but they can score on anybody. And it's really cool to see you guys are back to that point, it looks like. Of course, Signetti is a huge part of that, but what else do you think contributed to your guys' success on offense?
Well, I think obviously hiring a competent coaching staff was step number one. I mean, we went from Tom Allen, who's doing a decent job at Penn State, to be honest. Their defense is looking really good. And I always rated him as a DC. But actually getting in a staff that can run some good offensive plays. I mean, the program, since we had Kalen DeBoer and Kane Womack, who are now obviously at Alabama, has not had a good set of coordinators since 2019. And it's just gone through this giant upheaval. The last 4 years until now, we have the JMU staff that's come over, and clearly they've been the upgrade that IU has needed, including our new OC. And then you add in the transfers. So when Signetti was hired, we obviously hired him at the perfect time because the transfer portal just opened up. And so we got to kind of rescue some of our guys that had entered the transfer portal. We didn't get everybody back. We lost Jalen Lucas to FSU. But then we brought in, I think, 13 players from JMU and 2 players from Ohio. And it's the 2 players from Ohio that actually really changed the outlook of this roster, because you could have brought the 13 JMU transfers over and it probably, IU probably still be 5-1, 4-2 with the schedule they've had so far. But you're looking at barely making the bowl game without Curtis Rourke. Because Curtis Rourke has completely revolutionized the Hoosiers offense. A huge upgrade from Taven Jackson last season to Curtis Rourke this season. His demeanor in the pocket, his overall experience level, and quite honestly, his NFL level throws at times have completely changed and upgraded this Hoosier offense from last year being one of the worst in Power 5 to being one of the best in the Power 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. The it's pretty incredible, kind of where you guys are at now. Like Indiana, 6-0, and I think Justin was talking a little bit about expectations, and what would you say your best win is going out to UCLA?
Well, I would say I would say so. Yeah, I think UCLA is probably the best win so far. I would also say Northwestern. Like, I know some people are really, really low on Northwestern, but I don't think they're as bad as people make them out to be. Like, I think they have a solid defense and they're frisky on offense. So when you were talking, Garrison, you were talking about IU being scary and talking to other teams from other conferences about, like where IU is at.
Mm-hmm.
Northwestern gives me like 2018 IU vibes, where it's like you play them and you're going to beat them, but you also know that there's like a chance the game could be very, very uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's what that Northwestern game was like for IU.
No, last year, after the Ohio State Maryland game, Bryce got a kick out of his eyes, kept saying like, why can't they just lay down? Why can't they just go somewhere and stop playing football? So no, I completely understand what you mean, like when you say Northwestern for you guys. And also, I mean, the record may not be great, but Northwestern, I think they have the right head coach. They have a good head coach. So it's Northwestern, but I like them. They're not UCLA bad in my eyes.
I would.
Go ahead.
Just add on to that. Yeah, I think I was going to say before that kind of precursor to the question is, I think no matter what your best win is, I think being 6-0 and having a really good Nebraska team coming to town is maybe not necessarily what you thought you would be at. And I think everyone here is just so impressed with Kirk Cignetti and Rourke. It's almost unbelievable. And I think many people are saying, all right, you got Indiana. We were talking about it just before, like Nebraska's got Ohio State next week after this. And you think, all right, Indiana's a prep game, and it's not.
It's Indiana's biggest game maybe in the history of Memorial Stadium there in Bloomington. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I'm a historian of the program now. I can't tell you like the last big game that we've had at this level, especially with now the expectations put on the program. Because you look around, like I'm looking at people put IU in playoff projections, and I'm like, this is wild to me. I'm used to bracketology, right? Like I'm used to talking about where we're going to be playing in March. I'm not used to this kind of bracketology. I'm not used to thinking about maybe hosting a home playoff game in December, which would be wild. But no, I mean, the vibes are super high in Bloomington. You have Cignetti's out, like pleading with the fans to pack the stadium and get everybody in there. And the game is sold out. The students are ready. We have like Fox is coming to town. I think Big Game Kickoff is there. Barstool College Football Show will be there. Like, it's going to be an incredible, incredible atmosphere in that stadium, which I'm actually kind of scared for Dylan Raiola because he went to Purdue. He's played one true road game so far, right? And that was at Purdue, right? Mm-hmm. This is going to be his first big test against his first like good team he's played on the road in an environment, a homecoming environment that is going to be, I mean, unlike anything we've seen. It's homecoming as well. Yeah. So it's going to be an absolutely crazy environment in Bloomington, and I hope that comes through on the TV screen.
Mm-hmm. By the way, like when you say you're a historian of IU now, I forgot what I was watching, but they were talking about the IU Nebraska game, and they said, yeah, one of the most beautiful campuses I've ever been to. I've been saying that for years. I mean, I went to St. Francis in Fort Wayne, Indiana, so I made plenty of trips down to Bloomington, and my goodness. Bryce, have you been to Bloomington?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just the way the campus and the buildings are built it's just beautiful. So when it comes to Nebraska, what's your biggest fear of them coming into this game?
Their physicality on defense. I mean, I was in the waiting room listening to was it
Justin?
I was in the Justin. I was in the waiting room listening to Justin. He's talking about IU dealing with their physicality. I thought that was great point. Like, and that's like my number one fear, because you've seen IU struggle defensively against Maryland and Northwestern, and you've seen IU throw 4 or have 4 turnovers against Maryland, a team that was looking to force turnovers. And it's like, if IU is forced to throw the ball every single down, like, Rourke has shown the ability to make a boneheaded mistake every once in a while. And I'm afraid, like, because Maryland is so bad, you can win a game against Maryland with 4 turnovers. I'm not sure you can win a game against Nebraska where you lose the turnover battle. And I think their physicality on defense could really cause IU some trouble on that end.
No, and I completely agree with you. I even offensively for you guys dealing with their defense. I think it was last week I saw this. I think you guys are the only team in the Big Ten that was averaging over 200 passing and 200 rushing, which that blew my mind. And I was like, but like, what does that go to when you play Nebraska? Like, does it go down to 100? Does it go down to 150, 75 in terms of rushing yards? And because I'm right with you, because of the physicality of Nebraska and my lineup, thinking like they have to like keep them honest and still run the ball, even if it doesn't work. Work. Now, like Bryce, I don't know who you have. Man, I can kind of guess who you have. Man, I have Indiana winning this game, and I told Justin that on Monday. And I told a lot of it probably has to do with my heart. I won't lie about that, because I do. But in all reality, because I think this is a real good test for you guys. If you guys win this game, I think 10-1 is in play. Or 11-1. I think it's clearly in play. I'm like, man, if they're able to pull that off, not give any hiccups, my goodness, like what that would do for that program and fan base.
I mean, it would be incredible. And Signetti said going into the season that like all expectations are on the table. He's like, I don't want this team to set limits for itself. Right. And when we heard him say that at the beginning of the season, before we even played any games, a lot of us were like joking, like, haha, like 8 games would be awesome. Right. Like 8-4 would be great with this schedule. But like now we're talking like, oh, 11-1 is totally within reach, which is wild to me, given the fact that I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, IU has never won 10 games in a season. And Bryce, we're sitting here talking about possibly going 11-1.
8 is the most wins Indiana's ever had.
We had 9 actually. We had 9. We had 9 when we went to the Rose Bowl in like 1960. 1965 wow. Maybe.
You are a historian.
Yeah, I have to be, because there's actually so many old heads in the IU fan base. Like, if you say something on an IU podcast that's like not historically right about something in the 70s or 80s, like they're on you. So you have about basketball and football. So yeah, I mean, like, again, IU hasn't had a 9-win season since the 60s.
You're right.
We're talking
They've
about
had a couple
11-1.
Couple 8-win seasons. 1967 went 9-2, lost in the Rose Bowl under the leadership of John Pont.
Do you know who we lost to in the Rose Bowl? Let's say
you lost to Wait.
Nope.
No, it doesn't. Hold on. I'll tell you. 67. USC.
And who was USC's running back at that time?
OJ.
Yeah, it was.
Sure enough.
Yeah. So we lost to OJ Simpson in the Rose Bowl in 67. That's the last time we were there. That's also coincidentally the last time we won 9 games in a season.
I bet he ran his car right over you guys. Sorry, I can't help myself.
All right, I got 2 more questions, 2 more things for you, Matt.
Yeah.
Curious if you have anything else, obviously jump in. But
one. I'll let you finish off. All I gotta say is this.
Go ahead.
I tweeted this out the other day. I bought my ticket already, okay, for you guys hype train. I bought my ticket. Give me a reason to go to the destination. Give me a reason this weekend. I want to believe.
You want to believe? All right, here's what you believe. Look up, go to Google and put in Curt Cignetti type that in, press enter, and then look at his results. The guy wins. He said it before. He said, Google me. That's all you have to do. Trust in the power of the Google search engine. It's right there for you. The
It's free. It's free.
It's free.
Simple as that. Hey, all right. Obviously, we got Michigan fans mainly listening to the show and Ohio State fans, but Donovan McCauley, what do we need to know about him? Apparently, he's going to be the next Michigan receiver.
He is a wonderful receiver, and he'd probably be y'all's best QB if he was on the roster right now.
That felt like an unnecessary shot from a guest, but all right.
Sorry.
Fair play.
I'm friends with Ants, so I know the ins and outs of the Michigan football program quite well. But no, seriously, he's a wonderful receiver. He was our wide receiver number 1 last year, and he was looking to go to Michigan in the offseason, right? And
yeah,
Cignetti convinced him to come back. Sadly, it just didn't work out with him. I don't really know the specifics of why he's not been playing, but I just think a lot of the transfers have proven to just be better than him, and have fit their roles better. But he can do it all. He's got the speed, he's got the power, he's got the jump and catch ability. He's a do-it-all wide receiver, and he would be a wonderful asset to the Michigan football program if you guys can get him over there. And he's a great dude. Like he's very easy to work.
He's 6'5", isn't he?
He's 6'5", former QB, because he was a quarterback coming out of high school. He was a 4-star QB. We recruited him, and then we moved him to wide receiver, and he had his big breakout season last season with Brendan Sorsby, the quarterback now doing well at Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's right. Good pulls there. Yeah, he was a number 24 ranked QB recruit. All right, last thing I got for you, Matt, and we can let you go here because evidently you're about to start your day. One of the biggest travesties in recent history was the 2020 season, when the rules going into that season where you had to win 6 games to go to the Big Ten Conference Championship game.
I already know where this is going.
Indiana. How many wins did you finish out with? I believe it was 6.
We had 6 wins in conference, yes.
6 wins in conference. To this day, I will fight for my Hoosier brethren and say you guys should have been in Indy that year. And instead, the disgusting powers that be, Gene Smith was complaining about something, and he got his way, just like Ohio State always does. They whine and cry to mommy, NCAA, mommy, daddy, Big Ten, and they got their way, and then they got to go to Indy. When the Hoosiers should have been there based off the rules set in place going into that season.
I agree that it was BS. They changed the rules. Semicolon, however, comma. We would have been an absolute embarrassment in that game with Jack Tuttle at QB. And that is all I have to say about that.
Can you say that? Can you say that name again? Can you say that name again, please?
Jack Tuttle at QB.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, all right, hold on. Yeah. No, we don't need Tuttle ricochet shots here. You were playing a bad Northwestern team, though. What are you talking about?
Northwestern team was good.
That Northwestern team was good, and
no, they weren't.
We would not. We also Peyton Ramsey was the QB of that Northwestern team, who was the former IU QB, which means we would have had a chance of losing to our former transfer quarterback in the Big Ten championship, which I also would not have been able to live with. So I'm glad we just avoided that timeline altogether.
The amount of quarterbacks that transfer out of your guys' system and have some success, no matter who the coach, is crazy to me.
Well, I think that just is Indiana football in a nutshell. Like, we have talent. It's not that we don't have talent. It's either the coaching's been terrible or the talent surrounding, like, our QB, or, like, you go back in time, you go think Antoine Randall L was at IU and really good. You look at Tevin Coleman was amazing at IU. But it's like those teams could never put a full team together. You always had individuals or singular individuals on each team that were good, but never completed the whole picture, right? And that's what's so crazy about this year's team. That's why IU fans have felt like and a lot of people around the country have felt like we've caught lightning in a bottle. Because, like, all of a sudden, not only do we have, like, a fully competent offensive line, one of the best in the Big Ten so far. We have a fantastic QB. We We have one of the best receiver corps. We're running for like 200 yards a game on the ground. And then you add in like our defense has been not amazing, but they've made plays when they've needed to win football games. And so now you're looking at a more complete Indiana team than anything IU's had since the 90s, really.
Well, shoot, man. Bryce, if you don't have anything else, that was a lot of great stuff. I'm very appreciative of you, Matt. Hey, man, good luck on Saturday to your team.
Thank you.
Congrats on being bowl eligible before Michigan was. Yeah,
you guys aren't even bowl eligible before you were.
Yeah, bowl eligible before anybody was.
Yeah, but we're different.
Yeah,
we're different.
Get out of here with that.
We're different. We're different.
That's true. They have a better run game than you do. That's a good point.
Okay.
Well, we might run for more yards than Ohio State did on Oregon. So yeah, that's true.
Oh, let's go, Matt. You got a fan of me, man.
I can't wait till they beat the crap out of you guys.
I mean, they would absolutely destroy us. But
no, I'm talking about Michigan. I think you guys are gonna beat Michigan.
Oh no, we're gonna beat Michigan for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan's starting Jack Tuttle at QB. So.
Bro, once you get to 20, you got it.
All right. Well, Matt, we're gonna have you back on if you're willing in a couple weeks.
So absolutely. See you guys.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone go follow Matt. We'll tag everything, all of his social and whatnot, and everything on the bio or in the description here as well. So appreciate it, man.
Sounds good. See you guys.
See you, man. That was fun.
Good stuff. All right, let's wrap this up. We've gone on far too long.
Yes. You got your games?
I got my games.
Okay, go. I need 2 more. I only picked out 3 so far, so.
All right, I'll go ahead. I don't get the graphic ready this time, but that's all right.
Yeah, we don't need that right now.
All right.
Go.
Am I going first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Miami, -5.
Okay. Who against who?
And they're going against Louisville, at Louisville.
Okay.
Game's at noon, though. Tennessee has got Alabama coming to town. Tennessee is a dog. Give me the Volunteers +3.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I'm high in Tennessee still.
Okay.
Give me Texas Tech -6.5. Got to ride with my Red Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
They've been good to me on my FanDuel account all season long. Kansas State travels up to Morgantown. Night game, but the 3-point favorites. Give me the Wildcats. And then last pick, Utah -4. They welcome in TCU.
Okay. So these are mine. I'll go through them quick here. Give me Notre Dame -11.5 against Georgia Tech. I have Navy -17 against Charlotte. Go midshipman. Where is it here? I just saw it. My goodness, Garrison. Give me USC -7 against Maryland at Maryland. I'm taking a lot of favorites here. I like
that's
these.
Only 7. Oh, give me USC there. Oh,
yeah,
geez.
yeah. I think they're gonna look for blood. Give me LSU -2.5 against Arkansas.
I like that one. I was looking at that one.
And my upset of the year, or so far in the year, my biggest upset in the Big Ten so far this year. Give me Michigan State money line against Iowa. I think you get
Wait, you want to do money line or you want to just do
give me money line. They're
wow.
+5.5. I'm taking the Spartans. I think right now it's +190.
I don't hate that pick.
I think you get the exception game out of Aiden Childs, where he doesn't turn the ball over 10 times.
I dig it.
Man, we went an hour. Right. Wow, worth it. It was worth it.
Goes by fast. All right, well, appreciate our guests. Everyone, seriously, still listening with us here. Go like, subscribe to all of their content. Give them a follow. They're obviously awesome dudes, so it's fun having them on. So show them some love. All right, go.